Let me read the ingredients: chocolate Reaper, Carolina Reaper, chocolate Butla, yellow Carolina Reaper, Dragon's Breath, and and Dragon's Breath. So we're not exactly dealing with habaneros here.
Eric, have you got a mental problem? Why did you put all of those chilies in that sauce? Dragon's breath on its own would be enough, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Aloha and welcome to this episode of Experts and Idiots with me, 420 Chilli Sash. Today we are agreeing to disagree. The world has seen a lot of arguing and fighting over the last 3 years about various things related to COVID. Should we wear masks? Shouldn't we wear masks? Should we have vaccines? Shouldn't we have vaccines? I always say the same thing. All arguments are best settled with some heavy-duty chili. I'm going for this one. That is our Candy Floss Hindenburg chili extract. Heavy-duty shit. And I've got two friends from what I would see as one of the most polarized countries on this issue. That would be Canada. We have Eric, head honcho of Sorry Sauce. And we also have Michael, head honcho of Purple Tongue Hot Sauce, both based in Canada and both on opposite sides of the argument. Now today we're going to see if we can get through this argument by dosing ourselves with heavy chili. As I said, I'm going with my Candy Floss Hindenburg chili extract. Our boy Eric is going to be taking Michael's chili sauce, Purple Tongue Hot Sauce for Eric. And our boy Michael is going to be taking Eric's hot sauce, Sorry Sauce, the Cherry Noble edition, for our dear boy Michael. And we're going to pull this debate apart with me cueing the boys and myself with my little bell like this to take a hit of hot sauce and see if we can agree to disagree. Let's have a look and see where we get.
God damn it.
God,
All right.
motherfucker.
It's just like the last one.
Yeah, it never gets any easier. All right,
Nope.
motherfucker. Pop quiz. Yes or no answer. Eric, over to you first. To mask or not to mask? That is the question, to quote Shakespeare. The Canadian government forced a bunch of people to wear masks. Did they have the right to do that? Was that the right thing to do? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Over to you, Michael. Pop quiz. Same question. Yes or no?
Absolutely not. Hell no.
Okay.
They didn't do a
Well,
damn thing.
I hear a hell no down there. All right. So on the hell no, why hell no?
Well, the masks that everybody was using for the most part were insufficient. So if they really wanted the virus to be contained, then everybody should have been wearing gas masks or N95s from the very beginning. And even, all depends on which report you're going to read, the N95s still weren't good enough either. So I did read a lot of reports that said the masks did absolutely nothing, whereas there's a bunch of reports that said they do. But in the end, it really comes down to your own health. And if you looked at the majority of people that were suffering through this, they were in their mid to late 80s, and a lot of them were obese with 3 to 4 pre-existing conditions. That's where the focus should have been on, not in throwing everybody into one big bowl and assuming that we're all going to be, I guess, handling this the same way.
Kill the weak.
Eric,
Exactly.
over to you.
Get rid
What's
of
your
them.
opinion on this? Why the yes?
There is part of being in a society has some degree of cooperation. Oh, that's a big one. Shit. Yeah.
That's what all the girls tell me before anal sex. They say, Eric, oh, that's a big one. Now I got to shit. That's what they always tell me.
I have a coffin too. There's
So,
always some
Eric,
degree
you
of
were saying,
inconvenience, but there's some degree of inconvenience we have to put up with and be part of a society. So when people tell me that they don't want to wear a mask because it's uncomfortable, I sort of will take a page out of your book there and say I've got massive genitals and I have to wear pants. And it's an inconvenience for me to wear pants. And if there's no shirt, no shoes, no service, why do I have to wear these goddamn pants?
okay. Michael, why is he wrong?
I think they're apples and oranges. No pun intended. One is a health issue, and the other one is more or less just a standard nudity, and I guess what's the word I'm looking for? Hang on, indecent exposure issue. So Eric, let me just add to your point on kill the weak. I think one of the government's biggest problem in all of this is not once did we ever see an ad on TV or any promotions whatsoever from any health expert or any doctor or any politician in this country that said the best way to combat this virus is to get your health in order, get your diet in order, get plenty of sleep, vitamin C, vitamin D, all of these minerals, vitamins that you can take. I never saw any of that. The only thing was put a mask on, take our vaccines. So I think there is a responsibility, as you said, Eric, for people to get their health in check. Because if you did look at the vast majority of the people that were having these problems, that's where you found it. You didn't find it predominantly in guys like us that took care of ourselves, that ate properly, that slept properly, that really, that we did what we needed to do to kind of protect ourselves. So the whole mask thing, when it came into effect, sure, no big deal. But the masks on, the masks off didn't change a thing. So at that point, it really should have just come down to, you want to wear a mask, go ahead and wear a mask. If you don't, go ahead and don't wear a mask. And that's kind of where we are right now. And that's the way it should be.
Eric?
I disagree there. Because I haven't been sick in 2 years. So when I deal with the general public, I throw a mask on. And instead of getting the constant head colds I used to get when I worked in warehouses and whatnot, I haven't been sick. The only thing that's changed is that I wear a mask now in public settings. There's a certain, you talk about decency and about the nudity, but nudity is a subjective thing and decency is a subjective thing. I mean, you can, toplessness in Europe is fine. In North America, it's considered offensive, but you can show people a machine gun and that's all cool. Part of the reason I wear pants is so that if I sit on, say, a seat in the go bus, I'm not leaving a stain for the person behind me. We have to wear shirts and shoes into the variety store for public health. Our mask is just an extension of that. It's just clothing. When the mask mandated all of the masks that say soy sauce, and I'm turning those into Speedos.
Yeah. Did you have to put all the seeds in your peppers in your sauce there, Eric? Holy.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, look, I grabbed a tablespoon for yours as well. This is delicious, but I'm hurting here.
I think that means it's time.
Oh, all right.
For fuck's sakes.
God damn it, Sasha. Salvador Dali.
Fuck's sakes. That's me.
Yeah.
Okay, pop quiz again. Michael.
Damn it.
So to vaccinate, to not vaccinate, mandates have been put in place in your country to force people to be vaccinated in certain positions.
Yes.
That's a good thing, yes or no?
Terrible thing.
Terrible thing. Eric?
Your own body,
thing,
your
yes?
own choice.
Okay,
So,
Eric,
okay.
your opinion, yes or no?
Okay, done.
Yep.
It's no different than the same vaccine records you need to go to public school. So it's no big deal.
Okay. Why would he be wrong on that, Michael?
Well, the vaccines that we took when we were kids were tried, tested, and true over a decade or so. Measles, mumps, rubella, those types of things. Now I think there's like 40 vaccines for kids. And the argument is that these vaccines that they've tested were never tested properly. They were emergency use authorized, which meant that they were not safely tested over a long period of time. They were just basically thrown in emergency orders. So and the argument on my side of things would be, you've got something that nobody knows what these long-term effects are, and to force that on people is not something that should have happened. You can't force a medical experiment on somebody.
Fair point, man. Fair
pretty
point.
much it is.
Fair point, Eric. Why would you agree with him or disagree?
Say that. So the core of these vaccines started to be developed about 20 years ago with SARS, one of the first coronaviruses that jumped over and started affecting us. So they have been tested but adapted recently. If we want to talk about a long-term medical experiment, let's talk about fast food and some of the attitudes in there,
Absolutely.
additives, and things that are affecting us. And polio is an example I see. It comes up a whole bunch about the polio vaccine was good, but this one sucks. 98% of people who got polio had a minor head cold, and just 2% of the suckers ended up in the iron lung. But we had more of a community feeling back in polio days, and we were less polarized by social media and the American megaphone yelling across the border. So as the citizenry was more inclined to go and take a vaccine so that the 2% who ended up in the iron lung didn't get screwed so hard.
You gonna be okay, Sasha?
Yeah. I'm
No.
fine. I'm dying slowly, but
He's
that's my
never
normal
been okay.
routine, man. That's my normal routine. I think it's probably time for more hot sauce. Excuse me.
Oh,
You're killing me here.
Pavlov's an asshole.
Me also, man. Fucking hell.
Jesus.
So this fucking division that we see in Canada right now. Where did it come from? I've never seen a country more polarized in this whole crisis as Canada. It is the most polarized country I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
What is the origin of that polarization? Why was it? It must have been there before, Michael.
It might have been. Well, you're always going to have the division. You're not going to have an entire country think the same. Where you're talking about the English side and the Quebec, the French-speaking side. There's always going to be division. I think the biggest division that's happened in the last year or so is 100% due to these vaccines and the mandates to force people to do these things or get fired or lose their job or be put on leave without pay or to be ostracized, segregated. When you have that type of a hammer down from your government, where not everybody's going to agree on something like that, you're going to have differing opinions. You're going to have people split on their viewpoints.
So essentially, Eric, that government overreach is the reason for the division in Canada right now. Michael, if you would agree with me as a summary there.
I would say absolutely.
Would you agree with Michael?
I think there's always a bit of government overreach. There's always a balance about civil liberties versus public safety. But if you're calling out Canada as being the most polarized country you've seen, have you ever heard of a country called the United States of America, where there's an armed insurrection from a bunch of losers? It's fraud.
I think I'm finding actually a wonderful point of mutual agreement right here, which is that in the end, or as Germans would say, in end effect, the government's strengths and weaknesses that it showed during the situation we've all just lived through is that the government are a bunch of dipshits and they don't know what they're doing. Sounds about right. Oh,
bingo.
Exactly. My fucking stomach is starting to do something strange. I don't know about yours over there.
Yeah? It's there. I'm there.
All right. Maybe we're going to close this down right now because I think I might need to go to the bathroom, all right? Boys, thank you for your time. I think I'm going to go to the bathroom. There might be a mess on the floor very soon if I don't do this right now. So
Sure.
I'm going to say ciao to you both.